Oi, what's the best game where you get to eat pie? What's the best game where you play a dead guy? Aye, you'll find out in VG247's podcast. Here, what's the best game where you swing from a rope? And what's the best game where you batter the Pope? Assassin's Creed 2. Like I said, you will find out in this here podcast. Hello and welcome to VG247's Best Games Ever podcast, where we attempt to find the best game within an extremely specific category. For example, this week we're looking for the best game that should never be made into a TV show. Inspired, of course, by the acclaimed HBO adaptation of The Last of Us, which everyone has just been lapping up, quite understandably, because as a culture we're really starved for zombie dramas. The TV series stars Game of Thrones' Bella Ramsey as Ellie, a teenager who has a genetic immunity to mushrooms, and Pedro Pascal as Joel, a grumpy, middle-aged pandemic survivor who hasn't had a good day since the mid-2000s. It's not very relatable, that, is it, Tom? No. I'm joined, as ever, by Editor-in-Chief Tom Ari.
Hello.
And we've got the full guides team here. We've got Kelsey and James.
Hey.
Instead of Alex, who is, I just think he hates us now. I think he's won too much. He's getting bored. So, the best game that should never be made into a TV show. I just want to point out before we get angry comments, I'm not saying that The Last of Us shouldn't have been made into a TV show. It's just what inspired the topic. So, there's no need to get angry or send any emails.
Well, you can get angry if you want. Just make sure you get angry, and when you're angry and you tweet about it, include a link to the podcast.
Yeah. Or you can get angry in a 5-star review as well. Just make sure you hit the 5-star button. Doesn't matter about the content because nobody reads that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Right. First of all, let's go, James. What have you got for us?
Oh, in the first slot, that's interesting. I mean, it's I've got big boots to fill this week because obviously Alex is like the reigning champion. But I'm glad that you decided to turn to me as somebody who's also into James Bond an embarrassing amount. I think that I'm best placed to kind of slot into that role. So I'm happy about that. But it was quite a difficult topic as always. It's almost like we're grasping at straws, like Velma trying to find her glasses, just grasping for any kind of topic.
What are you trying to say?
Have you written that one down? Was that written down?
No. This all comes from my head. But anyway, my mind immediately went not just to things that shouldn't be made into a TV program, but things that games that you genuinely could not make a TV program out of because it just misses the point. And the best game that I could think of in that sort of remit was the jewel in the Sony's kind of first party crown, or well, it's kind of technically second party, but the biggest indie game that really set Sony on the path to this industry dominating kind of, we have the best games, we have a great catalog of stuff position that it is in now, and that is that game company's Journey. And for people that haven't played it, it's kind of an indie adventure game that came out around 10 years ago now. It's been free loads of times. I think you can even get it on phone now. But the gist of it is that you're this kind of almost silent, hooded, you're like the world's tallest Jawa. You're just like a big orange cloak boy, and you're running around in a desert, and you're trying to make your journey towards this dazzling light in the distance. And it's very beautiful. It's an incredible looking game. The atmosphere is amazing with the beautiful soundtrack and all of the atmosphere. But the crux of the game is that it seamlessly matches you with other people that are on the same journey as you. It's great. You're roaming around, you big Jawa boy. You come along, you find other big Jawa boys. It's great. And the crux of the ambiguity is that you don't know if these things are other people. Spoilers slightly, they are other people, and you seamlessly match with these different strangers, and you go on this beautiful journey together. And the whole point of the game is that you have this connection with a person across this beautiful adventure that you have together, that without words, without meaning, but it means a whole lot to you. And I think that there are so many other games that you could kind of try to say like, oh yeah, you could never make this into a TV series because you wouldn't get the story right. You could probably say that about like Metal Gear Solid or something, like, oh, you'd never be able to fit all the great story into the thing. But Journey doesn't really have a huge amount of lore to it. It's just a beautiful setting with a beautiful idea behind it, a beautiful interpersonal connection that it elicits. And I just don't think that you could ever get that from a TV series because it's all about human relationships in this kind of unique multiplayer. And I just think that you could maybe try and make some kind of anime, but it would just miss the point. And that's why Journey is the best game that you should never make a TV program of.
No. You know what, James, right, listen. You know when you watch a TV program, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you're sat
I know
there
of it.
and you're watching the TV, and then imagine someone sat next to you watching the TV program. And then you can watch...
I'm imagining it.
You can
it's in
watch
my mind's eye.
Watch it together, right? There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah,
but that's not a stranger. That's not somebody that it's not you're not reaching out across space and time to build a beautiful connection.
I just open your door, see what happens.
And what you're describing is going to the cinema, but that's not the same, is it?
Yeah.
I think it's very similar. Just get the whole idea of the game, going on a journey, right? That's most films, right? Go on a journey, do something, get to a thing.
Go to Frankie and Benny's.
Yeah.
What is this, Tom? It's completely... It's not the same thing at all.
It's sharing
the whole point about Journey is that it's because it's a video game. As a medium, it is uniquely positioned to build connections with strangers where you completely stripped of
most people
any markers about their identity.
Most people have no clue they're playing with someone else.
Exactly, that's the best bit. It's the ambiguity.
But if you didn't know it, it might as well not have happened. So the TV show can just be about a couple of people that meet up and go on a journey, right? Done.
No, it's talking about fucking grasping at straws. Right. All right, okay. Let's move on to Tom.
Yeah.
Seeing as how you're already in quite a feisty mood.
The reason I have to be so aggressive against other people's choices because mine are never very good, so I've got to really push the fact that other people are terrible, so that when I say
think you're okay.
one,
mine's really bad.
When I say my one, it's like, oh, actually that isn't that bad because
well, I think you've just picked it because you know I like it, but
that is why I did it. So the game I picked because when I played it, I did something that made the story really terrible, and I was like, I just can't be bothered with this anymore. So that's why I think it'd be a terrible TV show, because the story it told to me wasn't one I enjoyed. That game is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Can I just clarify?
Here we go.
Can I just clarify that the conceit isn't that you are also the showrunner of the TV show?
Well, I could be, because I mean, that sounds like quite a well-paid job to be a showrunner. I'd do it.
Yeah, D&D, if you're listening.
Yeah.
You get both the Andy's pay packet. You don't even need a partner to ruin a beloved franchise.
Yeah.
I'll do it for like far less money than most showrunners probably as well. So, but I mean, yes, I did pick Skyrim because I Googled the best games ever, and it got a list of like 42 games. So I thought it's got to be one of these games. And I picked the one that I thought you would like the most, Skyrim. And I thought, how can I pretend that this is going to be a bad TV show? Mm-hmm. I'll just say stuff like Skyrim is boring. It'd just be a TV program about reading books.
Right. Okay.
The combat was not very good in the game, so it'd be quite boring to watch. I mean, once you've done the intro, you sit on the cart. It'd be a good intro. The first episode would be fine, right? Because you can just recreate the bit when you're on the back of the cart being pulled by the horse. Yeah. And then you sit and you go, oh, I'm going to be executed. Oh, no. So that man, he's so unlucky he's going to execute. Oh, no, there's a dragon. Fire, etc. happens. And the intro, that would be quite a good first episode. But then where do they go after that?
Well, I mean, if it's anything like the way people actually play Skyrim, every episode would just be that cart ride. But
there would be an episode of my character having turned into a vampire and me struggling to turn it back. An entire episode dedicated to that.
Okay. So yeah, it's a good choice, right, Jim? Because
and then someone just does the intro again as a cat.
Yeah, I've played the intro probably about 15 times.
Yeah.
Skyrim. I don't even like Skyrim. I don't know why I have it so many times.
Yeah,
I've got it on at least 4 platforms, I think, but I don't think I've ever done more than I think generally I do the intro, then I just run around until I see another dragon, and that
do the
just
Golden
kills
Claw
me.
quest.
Doesn't
obviously.
sound like you're very prepared for this.
I've done the bit where you have your Lydia. Is Lydia the friend, or I'm not sure if she's a love interest or not. Because whenever I played it, I went up a very ill-advised mountain and she fell off, and that was it.
Poor Lydia.
Ill-advised mountain.
The thing with Skyrim is that it would be a really good TV series because you have so much lore. You don't have to just remake the story. You could have any number of characters within. You could have what's the main dude called Sir Ulfric von Liechtenstein or some shit. Like you don't have to follow that. You can have that going on in the background, and you can just be like, this is a Skyrim Thieves Guild show. You could be like, this is a Skyrim Dark Brotherhood show.
It would be. It'd be a program just full of Easter eggs, wouldn't it? It'd be like, I remember that's the book that you could pick up from the gold melter from whatever town in Skyrim. It's like, I remember that book. I stole it from a key maker in the dwarf town or whatever. I mean, it'd just be full of stuff like that, and random coins thrown all over the floor and things, and that man can't walk because he's carrying too much stuff. That's hilarious.
You're not making the worst pitch to be the showrunner, I'll be honest. It sounds like you understand the source
material. You're just describing an Amazon sort of fantasy show now.
They should just get you on as a consultant.
If people want to hire me to do that, I'm up for it, but I still don't think it for the purpose of this episode, it would be a terrible TV show that they shouldn't make.
I have to say, the phrase "an ill-advised mountain" is so good because it's 100% that is a J.R.R. Tolkien chapter title. In fact, I would not be surprised if someone writes it and goes, "Well, actually, if you've read the Silmarillion, But okay, so the thing about Skyrim though is that as James said, it's mostly kind of backstory, and it's it's a world. There aren't really any memorable characters in it as such, but there's just a really nice backdrop for the player to just sort of do stuff and make their own stories. And by that same token, is that not the perfect kind of setup for someone to go and make a TV show out of it?
No.
It's almost as if we changed the topic 5 minutes before we came on recording, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't have time to think about it.
This is entirely Tom's fault. All right, okay. Okay, Kelsey, I'm looking forward to this one.
My answer is a complete cop-out, and again, it's all Tom's fault.
Yeah.
I might have just completely forgot that it was a new podcast topic up until about half an hour ago, so I'm not prepared. But my pick is Fortnite. Because Fortnite has all the foundations there and all the lore there to be turned into a TV show by Epic if they so wanted, but it would just be so bad. It would be so bad off the basis that, let's say, imagine they brought out all these licenses and then wanted to throw in Goku into this random TV show. Yeah. And let's say they actually stuck to the original Fortnite lore where it all starts with a big bang and then this thing called the 0 point is created. And this 0 point, obviously, it can be used to make different realities. It can be used to cause natural disasters. And then there's one bloke who realizes that he can use its power to become immortal and create the perfect civilization. So there you go. You've got Hitler reborn. And they could make a TV show out of that, and it would probably be interesting, but it's a trope that's done to death. And then if they actually went ahead and used these licenses that they've got to throw Goku or Doomslayer or, God forbid, Rick and Morty into the mix, it would be a complete and utter mess. And then on top of that, you've got all these fans who yeah, these characters work in a game like Fortnite because it's a battle royale format. It's quite silly. Nobody takes it too seriously. But put into a TV show with a somewhat serious plot, you would have the headcanons of so many fans being disrupted. And it just, not only would it just not be enjoyable, but I don't think it would do very well on Rotten Tomatoes either. I think Epic would get a lot of angry emails about that. And about how Goku should not be here, actually.
Yeah. It would be absolute, like, it would be the TV equivalent of, like, a Funko Pop collection, wouldn't it?
It would be like something that, one of those, like, crap TV shows that they used to play on, like, Disney XD or whatever. It just wouldn't amount to anything.
It's like that bit in Ready Player One, which I have watched despite probably shouldn't have watched it. But there's that bit where they just throw, like, all the famous characters into like one bit, but that's stretched over like 42 episodes or something. It wouldn't be good. This is a good choice, to be fair. I think Jim,
there used to be an internet thing. There used to be an internet format that I liked that was called Just Two Things, and Ready Player One is a great example of that. And this sounds like a similar thing where it is just like where it's like Yoda, but he's Rick from Rick and Morty or something. It's like, it's just two things. It's just two things, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't need to be combined necessarily.
They don't go together in any capacity, but it's just stuffing stuff together for stuffing it together's sake, which is very much that.
It's perfectly fine within a video game such as Fortnite. Obviously, I do think some of the crossovers and collaborations are daft, and when you're queuing with friends and you've suddenly got, I don't know, you've got like a Jedi,
you're like Kratos
or a
and Lara Croft,
Stormtrooper, and then there's Kratos, but then there's also Mr. Meeseeks, and then there's a random like anime character in there. It's just this. It's fine because you're going into that game to have fun, not necessarily take it seriously.
Yeah.
But in a TV show, you would just be like, why are these two people on the same screen right now? Like that just shouldn't be it.
There would be a really annoying subculture of people who loved it, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people out there who just like any kind of random pop culture reference or Easter egg or what, it's just like that 10 hours of jangling keys meme. And like I saw it, I'm going to go off on one now. Right, I saw there was a tweet format earlier today. People were like, "Okay, so you wake up and you're in charge of Nintendo. What do you do?" And there was one guy, and I was trying to think of something funny, and I couldn't, so I left it. But there was one guy who replied to them going, I would finally sort out the Funko Pop license." Because it's like, and went on this sort of paragraph about how it was like some kind of deep cultural tragedy that it wasn't a Funko Pop of Shy Guy. And it's like, that's the guy that would love the Fortnite TV show, right? It'd just be like 5 stars, Lara Croft's in it. Like, fuck. Anyway.
Well, so I think we've kind of taken the HBO angle with The Last of Us. The TV series has to mean like prestige drama.
Yeah,
and I hate to do this, but for something that might actually be pretty fun, I've got 2 words for you in relation to a Fortnite TV show: game show. Another 2 words: Takeshi's Castle. You're in a Takeshi's Castle style game show. Everybody is all the different characters. Everybody's into that.
When I first read the topic, I misread it as a topic as a best game that should be turned into a TV show. And my first thought was Fall Guys and turning it into a game show like Takeshi's Castle that would just be chaos. But then the question was wrong. But you know what? Yeah, that would work. But they probably wouldn't do that. Mr. Beast does that.
But they should. I mean, there's probably, like, Mr. Beast has probably already made it on YouTube or something. Like,
yeah, he probably had a budget of $2 million.
And I would have done it for $1 million.
Billcliff is played 5-dimensional chess here.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what James's choice was, though. That's how good it was. I can't remember.
Exactly. Forgettable. Nobody would watch it anyway.
Right, I'm going to play that jingle now. That means I have to pick something. I think we've, unfortunately for Kelsey, just established that Fortnite could be an amazing TV show, but only if James was the showrunner. Now, the thing about Skyrim, Tom, right, is that, as we've established, I don't agree that it would be a bad TV show because there's not enough plot in the game to mess up. And
what if it was, imagine if it got sold to like, I don't know, Dave or something like that, and like Dave is making this epic show, and it's on the budget of like,
or just like a costume drama version of Taskmaster. I mean, that would be bad, yeah, but
it just got to. I mean, it'd have to be done so well to be good. If it was even partly a bit ropey, it would just be terrible. I mean, you don't care about those things, Jim, because you watch all the ropey TV shows.
That's not true. I don't watch any ropey TV shows. In fact, I've seen the first 4 minutes of HBO's The Last of Us, and it's frankly fucking dreadful. But anyway,
unbelievable.
It's fucking John Hannah doing 4 minutes of exposition almost directly into camera. It's awful. But anyway, and I love John Hannah. Partly that's why I'm affronted. It's a waste of the man's talent, frankly, a generational talent. I'm going off on one again. Sorry. So look, Skyrim feels like, I don't know. To me, if I was the showrunner on a TV show, and I'd be a terrible one because I'm very disorganized, but I think the lore of Tamriel would be a gift because you've basically already got your writer's Bible there. You don't have to think of anything. Bethesda have already spent like 30 years stealing it off the Shannara Chronicles. So that's fine. It's done and dusted. And then you can just kind of like start with someone with amnesia and go from there. It's fine. You can do whatever you want. With The Last of Us, the problem they've got is that it's like the audience expectation is mostly that like you have to hit all these beats from the game, otherwise we're going to kick off. But I think actually, I think Bill Cliff's got this again because Journey's a really good choice because I think it's so the whole point of Journey is so tied to the medium that it is built for. It literally doesn't work. It's like trying to sort of do a TV adaptation of a pop-up book. Like it's like, well, the whole point of that is that it's made of cardboard and it pops up when you open the page. You can't simulate that on television.
I think you could. I think if you do like, you know how Netflix has got the interactive shows, right? And you can choose things. Yeah. Just when you get to a point and it's like, oh,
it was a bad example.
Some random person, as is also watching, is also making a choice, and you have to like agree on something to go a certain rate in the show, and it's like, yeah. All right.
Well, there was a Lemmy. I'm sure there was an audiobook of a book that Lemmy wrote, and I'm only half remembering it. But in the book version, right, the text was formatted to be upside down, so you had to turn the book to read something. Then you would look like a weirdo because you had the book upside down. And part of the point is that it was like it was making the reader part of the art there because they were making the reader look like a tit, right? Mm-hmm. But then when they did the audiobook version, he had to just explain that because you can't do that it doesn't work if you transfer it out of the medium, and I think Journey's got the same thing. So I think Journey is the best game because it is a good game, like it's very highly acclaimed, that should never be made into a TV show.
I was kind of going on the puzzle angle, which is what pushed me in that direction, because I was originally going to go with like Tetris or something, but then that turned me onto the game show angle. I already had that in the back pocket. I'm just saying, because I was just thinking about you can't do a TV show of Tetris, and I was like, but you could do like a sort of Games Master style thing where you like face off with Tetris, couldn't you? So, but yeah, exactly. Journey just has an extra layer of something that you can't replicate in just like on TV.
Well, we sorted that out, then we bashed that out in 25 minutes.
I reckon there'll be a TV show of Journey within the next 10 years, and it's going to be brilliant. And everybody will be like, wow, I can't believe they replicated the feeling of the game.
If that happens, we will retcon.
And then someone will do Skyrim, and it will be awful.
I mean, someone is doing Skyrim, right? Isn't that happening on Netflix? It was mooted to be at one point. I'm not sure it'll happen now. given that like nobody's got any money anymore and the economy's collapsed. But yeah, that was definitely a thing. That was mooted to be like, this is Netflix's answer to Game of Thrones, and it was like, and then it turned out to be The Witcher. But anyway, this is completely by the by. All right, okay. Thanks very much for listening. We would like to ask once again for if you like this podcast, please give us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice, because it really helps. And if you could give the Eurogamer podcast 3 stars, that would be great.
Yeah, and if you leave a written review, that's good, because I like reading them.
Yeah. Just don't write a written review if you're going to be rude.
Makes me slightly happier that day if I refresh the Apple Store page for the podcast and there's like an actual written review.
Yeah,
it's like, that's nice.
Only if it's nice though.
They're all nice though. No one's left a bad one.
Also, like, don't be clever about it, because the algorithm doesn't understand the difference. Like, there was a podcast I was on ages ago, and it had a few 5-star reviews, and then it got one 1-star review, which brought the average down. But it was like they were doing a little joke where they gave it 1 stars, but the text was just like, I'm appalled by this because it's too good. And it was like, I understand, like, I appreciate it, but it's actually not great for discovery.
The internet is a barbarous place.
Yeah, it's hell, and we all live here. All right, thank you very much.
Was I officially declared the winner at any point? I was going to bring it up.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just didn't really acknowledge it.
No, yeah, you did. No, because you did. You had a little celebratory moment.
It happens so often that I don't even need to.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, you will find out in this here podcast.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. It really helps us get the word out. We're not just a podcast, of course. If you'd like to hear more from the team, then check out VG247.com for our fantastic news coverage, features, reviews, and game guides. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.